Hi patrons, glad you could join me again today. Thanks as always for your support, very much appreciated. Today I'll try and challenge myself. I know I keep sticking to my comfort zone, so I thought I'm going to go for a challenge today. Do like a Cornish Harbour scene. We was in Cornwall recently and it's a fantastic place. So I've tried to just keep it as loose as I possibly could. Didn't do too much commentary as I was doing it because I was really having to try and concentrate and focus. So let me show you the colours. I haven't used too many colours for this one. Let me show you the palette. So apart from a little bit of lemon yellow that I used on the distant hillside, the only colours I've used for the rest of it was ultramarine, alizarin crimson and light red. So most of it was just the three colours, just a bit of yellow in the background. They're all Cotman watercolours. The brushes, the sort of initial, normally I'll use the hake for most of it, but I just did the initial washes with the hake this time. A lot of it this time was painted with the flat brush, the buildings and the boats and whatnot, and then just a couple of rigger brushes, just a number 3 and a 0, and there's just I've just got a few plastic cards around here I do use for scraping as well. That's all the materials. So I want to try and get some sort of atmospheric backdrop before I do anything else. So I'm going to go a bit of lemon, alizarin, ultramarine. Brush this. Something like that. Right, now I'm going to introduce a bit of I'm just wondering whether to keep it, it's just a little bit of light red, I think. A little bit of light red, a little bit of lemon yellow, and we've got some big trees up here right at the top. Coming down 2/3 of the way up. And you've got a few little buildings and things in there. Going to suggest these buildings with a quick scrape of the card. Big one there. Okay. Load of things there by the harbour wall. And on the other side, I'm going to use a flat brush actually. Getting into those colours. Got some buildings there now. I'm just very roughly so I hold it like this, just see what sort of effects I can get. And I've got a few reflections coming down there as well. Switch into the card. No, I won't switch to the card actually yet. a little bit darker. Harbour wall there. Get that flat against there. Back to these same colours. Now I'm putting in big boat now. Sort of roughly this sort of shape. Lots of reflections down there. I'll probably go over these again in a bit. Some windows. Just doing something like that. Okay, this sort of shape. Like I say, I'll come back into a lot of this anyway in a bit, sort of try and tighten it up. Little boats and things. Little mass going in. Look at the reflections. There's a bit of rigger work as well, a few random details. And I'm predominantly just sticking to these three colours at the moment. I'm going to loosen it all up a bit. A bit more blue in that sky. back into that boat. Again, a few more colours in there. What else there is that we've got? It's like a big mass thing on the back here. Put it in while the paper's still wet, so it's all going to blur, and it's sort of going right up there with it, something like that. I don't know if it's like an aerial thing or what it is. Get a reflection of that in there. More random detail with this. A few shadows on that side, I think. Some of that down the bottom. Just trying to keep it all as loose as I possibly can, but making it obvious what it is. A few white yachts that scrape something out there, I think. Is that? It's like a yacht just sort of head on to us. That one's slightly on the side. This one's in front of that one. Got a few more things going on behind me. I need a few reflections. You know, so I'm really having to concentrate on this one because I'm way out of my comfort zone. So I'm not saying anything. So I'm trying to focus. I want to do something different, but I need to be able to concentrate. You see, so it's predominantly. So I've just been using a bit of red, blue, or alizarin, and then it was just a bit of ultra lemon yellow in the background there. The rest of it's just this very limited palette again. So I'm just sort of just wetting it, and then I'm just, as the paper dries, I'm putting the same strokes in, and just each time it's just adding more and more detail. Just using also using different brushes as well to get different effects. I'm just constantly trying to keep my hand moving, so look, you know. What I don't want to be doing is this sort of thing like that, and you're just doing a little dot and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I mean, it's for some people, I know, yeah. I mean, you know, some people don't want to go this quick, but I just find it just, for me, it just works better when I just go as fast as I possibly can. So this, I'm thinking maybe this is even like a sort of line and wash type of thing. Maybe if I just do the outlines a bit better. Got a few lighthouses there. I can't do too much. I'll put the mass over now, and also just suggest a few little windows there, I think. A few windows there. Just want a few darker tones here and there. Let's get something dark under the bottom of the boat. Also might help if you hold your brush at the end. You sort of get even more sort of random strokes. That's the word I was looking for. Just darken this bit there. Just want to get that same reflection. And if I just sharpen that line a bit, maybe. A bit of red on there as well. Just need to strengthen that reflection a little bit better. Like a little rope or something. I'll just take the little brush. Just like a little rope there giving off, stick into something there. A few buoys around. A few random marks in the water. This could be, I don't know, ripples or something. Just need to strengthen this a little bit because it looks a bit sort of detached from the boat. It doesn't look like it's part of the boat. Just put that on a little bit stronger. Just little dark tones here and there. Could have a few like little people or something, I suppose. Little. Just a hint of like little distant figures. Just scattered about. I think I'm going to call it a finish at that point. So let's just sign the painting down the bottom. I'm going to call that one finished. So let's stick a mount on it and see what it looks like. So here's a finished painting in the main. So if we have a closer look at it, I started off with a a simple sky wash. There's a bit of alizarin crimson and ultramarine. Brought that down. You can see, generally try and have a lighter area in the background, so you've got the light there and there's a bit of light coming through the centre here. Then I did the distant buildings on the hill. This is the only point I used a bit of lemon yellow. I weren't quite sure whether the lemon yellow would sort of clash with the rest of it. I didn't know whether I'd made a mistake with that. I'm still not, to be honest with you, I don't know. But I've just kept that nice and simple. Just scraped in a few rooftops there, just to give the impression of buildings on the hillside. Forgot to put all the reflections in, so I ain't going to worry about that. Then I went on to these buildings there, just putting very, very simply, a little bit of rigor work there, just to define some of the edges and a few windows and whatnot. Put it dark, just suggested a few little figures here and there, add interest, people moving around and whatnot, a few darker tones, just to contrast with the lights. And then sort of scraped out a few random boats here and there, pop the mass in as well, and then a few reflections. And then sort of focal point is this sort of big boat here in the foreground. Just put in again, just as loose as I possibly could. Just scraped out some windows, and then just scraped out the edges, just to give the just to define the sort of profile of it. All the reflections as well, and then just a very faint. Just little touches like that, it always helps. Just little rigor size, just to put in that little rope as well. A few little dots and random dashes and dots and lines in the water. And then just some little seagulls up there. Don't put them all equally spaced like I have. Keep them nice and random. So, I hope you enjoy that. We went to Cornwall recently and there's loads of scenes like this. I'm going to have to start painting these sorts more often. Really sort of try and challenge myself. So that's going to be the plan moving forward. Sort of harbour scenes. So, until next time, keep posting your own work on the community page. It's great to see so many paintings on there. Keep practicing. If you've got any questions, please ask. And I'll see you again soon.